Where are you, Breece, in your recovery right now and your rehab?
I won't give out too much information, but I know just meeting with my doctors and my surgeon, they think I'm ahead of schedule. They think I'm doing really good. So just for me, I'm just worried about staying good on my nutrition and just making sure I come in and work the hardest I can every day.
Brees, obviously you were in a bit of a groove when you went down. Like how in the moment, like how devastating was it, and how were you able to pull yourself out of like that initial shock?
Honestly, like when it happened, I didn't really know what happened. Like I just kind of cut and fell. So it was like, all right, like maybe I tweaked something, maybe I didn't. So I get up on my own and I start walking to the locker room, and they're like, all right, maybe you should get on the cart just in case. So I get on the cart, we go get an X-ray, and nothing showed on the X-ray. Then we go back to the locker room, and the doctors just start doing some mobility stuff and moving my knee and stuff like that. And they were like, all right, maybe we feel like your ACL is not intact. So I had to wait for the MRI the next morning, and that's when the news came out. So it was frustrating and everything, but you can't dwell on that. I just had to have the mentality that it is what it is, and you just got to grow up and accept it for what it is. So.
Do you anticipate being ready for the start of training camp or the off-season program?
Yeah, I'll be ready for whatever the coaches need me for. I feel like I'm recovering at a faster rate than normal, so I feel like I'll be fine.
Bruce, do you ever think about what might have been for this team this year overall?
Yeah, you see after I went down, I felt like the offense wasn't the same, and I kind of took part of that blame on me, just watching the games. And that's what they drafted me for, to be a game changer, to be a big part of the offense, to be a playmaker. So when one of your playmakers goes out, then we lose AVT at the same time. It's like, all right, the offense has lost two of his best players. What are we going to do now? But, it is what it is. They still won some games. They still showed a lot of growth, so I feel like we'll be fine.
Are you optimistic about this core?
You said what?
Are you optimistic that this core that's intact here can lead the Jets to some good victories and playoff berths?
I'm confident in everybody we had on the team. I feel like with me and AVT coming back healthy, Makai coming back healthy, and all the pieces we have, we're a playoff team. We had a top 3 defense in the league, and with me playing, we had a top 10 offense. So I feel like me and AVT, Makai coming back, will be fine.
How tough was that? Like, 'cause you were 5-2 when you went down,
Yeah.
and then they've only won 2 games after that. So how difficult was it to watch the offensive struggles?
Very difficult because you feel like part of it's your fault. You're not playing, you can't be out there helping everybody, but it is what it is. Every guy's coming in every day, putting their best foot forward, working hard. So that's all you can ask for. Wins and losses aren't everything, but I feel like this is going to be a lot of motivation for us because we were planning on going to the playoffs and making a good run at this thing. So just got to come back hungry.
Have you talked to anybody, any other running backs that you know that have dealt with the same injury for advice or how to bounce back?
I wouldn't say that dealt with the same injury, but I've talked to Saquon Barkley, like Christian McCaffrey, LaShawn McCoy, Melvin Gordon, just a lot of guys around the league, and they were devastated for me. So just hearing what they had to say just about attack and rehab and how to keep your mental right. It was a lot. Talking to Saquon, me and him are working with some of the same people, and Christian McCaffrey just showing his support. I looked up to both of them at one point, so that meant everything.
Breece, what was the message behind Saleh giving everyone on the team the finished T-shirts?
That needs to be our mentality coming back into OTAs, mini camp, training camp. Just to finish because this year, even though we had the injuries and everything, we just felt like we sold ourselves short. I felt like even with the injuries we had, we were a playoff team. I feel like we had enough to at least get in. But regardless of the circumstances, I feel like our team showed a lot of fight. We were still in every game. We played hard the whole season. So that's just our mentality to come back and finish. We want to be that team next year, and I feel like we have everybody that we need to do that.
Brees, Garrett's obviously in the running for offensive rookie. Did you ever joke with him that you would have taken that from him?
I think low key Garrett knows, but yeah, we joke about it all the time. But if anybody else was going to win it, I wouldn't want it to be Garrett because he's my teammate.
Talking to Saquon or any of those other running backs, did they mention how even when you come back sometimes for a running back, there's a transition period before you can really get back to your
Yeah, because when you have a injury, and for me it's gonna be big because I've never really had a serious injury before, so that whole thing's kind of had me cautious. Just finding that confidence back in your knee, gaining everything back. You see some guys may not come back the same, but some guys come back even better. So for me, I just want to attack it to have that mentality that I'm going to come back better, and I feel like I am. So, it is what it is. You got to just gain that confidence back, and you'll be fine.
Breece, will you be staying here to do your rehab? Are you going home?
Yeah, I'll be staying here back and forth between another place too. But for the most part, I'll be here until I have no real restrictions, and I'll be, going to other places. Just getting some time away from here, away from home and stuff like that. So.
Breece, what was your experience like with Michael Floor? Obviously, there's the offense struggled at the end of the year, so a lot of people are talking about like his future and stuff. So I'm curious what your experience has been like with him.
I love him. I feel like he, for the most part, puts us in a good position to be successful. So I would love for him to stay around. I think he's a really good person. I love being around him every day. He's one of those guys who's weird, but he's also really cool. So, just being around guys with that different personality, a different type of thinking, I like him. I enjoy being around him. And regardless of winning, losing games, or the offense playing bad and the defense playing good, that comes down to everybody, not just the OC. It comes down to all 11 people putting their hand in the dirt. So.